a call for authentic black leadership. Brothers and sisters, I stand before you today not with comfortable words, but with truth that burns in my heart and demands to be spoken. The question that haunts our community: do you believe that Black America needs a real black leader, not a figurehead, not a puppet dancing to someone else's strings? A real leader. This question cuts to the very core of who we are and who we choose to become. We hold the power of choice. The Almighty granted us something precious: free will. The power to care or to turn away. The power to stand up or to sit down. The power to speak truth or to remain silent. And because we have been given this gift, we cannot point our fingers at anyone else when our communities burn, when our children fall, when our people suffer. We choose our beliefs. We choose our leaders. We choose our actions. The responsibility is ours and ours alone. The root of our suffering. Look around you. Look at the violence in our streets. Look at the chaos that consumes our neighborhoods. Look at the blood that stains our sidewalks. Why does this happen? It happens because people, whether they're the ones holding the whip or the ones feeling its sting, have stopped caring. They have closed their hearts to the pain of others. They have chosen indifference over compassion. The Holy Quran teaches us in Surah Baqarah that oppression is worse than killing itself. When we allow systems of oppression to flourish through our silence, when we permit injustice to continue through our inaction, we become complicit in something worse than death. We become complicit in the destruction of souls. Where are our leaders? Tell me, where are they? Where are these so-called leaders and organizations that claim to speak for us? Some have been bought with silver coins, selling our struggle for personal gain. Others cower in fear, too afraid to challenge the very systems they were supposed to dismantle. They sit in comfortable offices, speaking empty words while our people cry out for genuine leadership. They have abandoned the front lines of our struggle, leaving us to fend for ourselves in a battle they were meant to lead. The sin of sitting at home. But let me be clear about something else. Those who sit at home bear equal responsibility. The Holy Quran reminds us in Surah An-Nisa that those who stay behind cannot be equal to those who strive with their wealth and their lives in the cause of justice. Allah has elevated those who fight for righteousness above those who make excuses for their inaction. Yes, each will receive a reward, but those who struggle in the path of truth will receive something far greater. You cannot claim to love your people while refusing to sacrifice for their liberation. You cannot claim to want change while remaining comfortable in your silence. The 3 levels of faith. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave us a blueprint for action that should shake us to our core. Whosoever of you sees an evil action, let him change it with his hand. And if he is not able to do so, then with his tongue. And if he is not able to do so, then with his heart. And that is the weakest of faith. 3 levels: action, speech, heart. If you can act to stop injustice, you must act. If you cannot act, you must speak. If you cannot speak, you must at least feel it in your heart and reject it with your soul. But what happens when you do nothing? When you say nothing? When your heart becomes numb to the suffering around you? What remains then is the weakest form of faith, a faith so fragile it might as well not exist at all. The time for excuses has ended. We stand at a crossroads, my brothers and sisters. We can continue to make excuses, continue to point fingers, continue to wait for someone else to save us. Or we can rise. We can choose to care when caring is difficult. We can choose to speak when speaking is dangerous. We can choose to act when action requires sacrifice. We can choose to become the leaders we've been waiting for. The question isn't whether Black America needs a real black leader. The question is whether you're ready to answer that call. The question is whether you're ready to stop being a spectator in your own liberation. The question is whether you're ready to move beyond the weakest of faith into something powerful, something transformative, something that can change not just your life, but the destiny of our people. The choice is yours. The time is now. What will you choose?